Hello and welcome. This is Rooflemonger, and my friends, today we are talking about Robocop. Widely held to be one of the worst characters in the game, and usually it's a toss-up between him or Shao Kahn on who is worse, and Robocop actually got a lot from the most recent mystery patch, I guess we'll call it that, as it basically unbanned the one competitive variation he had, as you were never allowed to have the flamethrower and the command grab together. And with those two together, to me, legitimately, this character has a new lease on life, as it's a very wild variation that gives him a lot to work with, and I guess that's exactly what we'll talk about in this video. So the variation is flamethrower and terminal strip, the command grab, which was previously banned, which was a major disappointment to me going into Mortal Kombat 11 Ultimate, because this was what I was looking forward to the most for Robocop, and now we have it, and low auto 9, which is a proven valuable move. So let's talk about just the variation and just what each move has to offer. So the three variation moves specifically, well, first up here, low auto 9. I don't think I gotta spend too much time on this one here. Robocop classically held as a bad character, maybe? But not because of this move. This move is the real deal. He ducks while doing it, so highs go over his head. If a high goes over his head, this becomes a crushing blow. Fantastic. It's a mid, so therefore you cannot duck it. It has multi-hit EX follow-up, which makes it very safe on block as well. This move is just a workhorse, no matter how you want to look at it. The command grab, the terminal strip. So visually, it's certainly not like a big old show like, say, Kotal Khan's, but this is a mid-hitting command grab. One of the very few in the game that is a mid, meaning you cannot neutral duck it. Like throws and so many other command grabs, you can just neutral duck, haha, laugh it off, and then big old uppercut punish, right? This one, no such luck. If you want out of the way, you had to be jumping. If you weren't already jumping, well then I guess you get hit. End of story. Also, thanks to the EX of this move, you can hold it and get more screen carry, and it's very devastating in the corner. We'll talk more about that later. Or, hey, screw it. I just want to go over here now and go to the other side, right? So whichever corner you're closer to, you can always go to that, so that is very handy. And the flamethrower. Well, the flamethrower is just what makes a lot of this variation go, especially in combination with the command grab. So whatever string you do, hey, you just burn them. They're still standing, you're at massive frame advantage, and we kind of go from there. Now, it's not tons of damage, to be sure. Robocop's not a big combo character. And not to say he doesn't have combos, because he certainly does, right? Just they're a little bit more rare. And having the command grab as well is really good for those combos, because it's basically a single biggest hit special move. So it just kind of works out. So it just adds more damage to those combos if you were to get them. But yeah, combos aren't the thing, right? So this is basically just doubling down on his strings, leaving people standing, getting some damage in, almost 20% on most strings, and then we're going to basically enforce a guessing game. And before I get into that, actually, since we don't have many opportunities to talk about Robocop in general in Mortal Kombat 11, before I get into the whole mix-up blender with flamethrowers and command grabs, I actually do want to talk about some of the better things about Robocop, since most people just write him off as bad without looking at anything about him. Because Robocop, maybe he's not the best. I think he's getting better thanks to this variation, but there are worthwhile things about him. Okay, while we're here, let's talk some good things about Robocop before the main event of the video, right? Because Robocop, yeah, maybe he's not the best, but he's got good stuff. So first up, let's talk the sweep. He has one of the best sweeps in the game. In fact, the only character I'm outright comfortable saying has a better sweep than Robocop is Spawn. Because here's the thing. He does this slow hitting, you know, as a sweep would do, sure, but he doesn't move forward at all. He just stays in place. So if you were to block it, hey, whatever. And with big pushback, and honestly, pushback will favor Robocop most of the time versus the character he's up against. It even has modular range, like here, okay, it hit, that's awesome, right? And once again, here, 15 frames at this range, hitting, no traveling forward, very, very good. But if you were to somehow whiff with the first hit, you can actually get the second hit anyways, right? So it'll do a little bit less damage, but still, yeah, his sweep is really good. His dashes, man, okay. Like, 2 dashes for him is like better than a lot of characters' good wave dash. Like, straight up. He actually can move very fast and very far forward. So, like, the wave dash is almost built in. His back dash, too, as well. Most of the back dash, the initial distance gained is like at the start of the move, so you can do like the old haha, and then just kind of go in, backdash and hit another button going in. Like those things actually work for Robocop. 4-3-2, this is an important string, and we'll use this as our example later in the video for the blender, but like 10 frame mid starter, 4-3 is a 10 frame mid. It's hit confirmable, you can go into whatever you want on hit, it's completely safe on block. What's not to love? A lot of characters honestly would kill for a string like this. Now, is this the best mid-hitting starting string? No, it isn't. But it's a solid one. It does exactly what it needs to do. Can't really ask for more than that. I know a lot of people write off the assault cannon because, you know, slow startup and all that, right? But here's the thing a lot of people don't talk about. The move hits on frame 1, point blank, and it hits on frame 1 at full screen. So it's actually faster than a lot of other options. Because if you go for like low auto 9 or something, that bullet has to travel. Grenades have to travel. Every kind of projectile, except for aimables, have to travel. This just hits frame 1 full screen, done. So this actually hits the enemy faster at full screen than a lot of your classic gunshots and everything but ES wrist rocket. And on top of the fact that it does 10%, which is absolutely wild with knockdown, right? So if it comes to a trade, you're winning that trade. And also, of course, the gimmicks of the EX version, as those are not highs, they're mids, so therefore not duckable. And yeah, it's not like the best projectile of all time, but man, like people need to give this more respect because once again, all the startups on the actual animation, but the travel time is literally instant. And there's probably a lot more I could talk about, but just to highlight a few things, like Robocop has some stuff that works in his favor. So now let's talk the main event. The blender. Once Robocop gets you, it's time to start guessing. And that is one of the fun things I was looking forward to that is now finally available in competitive variations. It gives them that true kind of grappler mindset of I got this command grab and you better guess if you're gonna get hit by it or not, and guess wrong, well then we're just gonna repeat and just go from there. So the core of this is basically any string. You know, it could be 1-2-1, it could be 4-3-2, 4-2-1, all that stuff. Whatever you choose into flamethrower, and preferably EX flamethrower, just so you can get some more damage in. Because Robocop damage, he's a low damage character, and you need to get that damage in, because he doesn't have many sources of it. Like, he could do variations of this before without the flamethrower, like 1-2-1 by itself is plus 24 on hit. So you can do a little bit of a mix-up from there, but you get 7%, right? What is 7% compared to 19? Pretty drastic difference, right? So you want to get that damage in. So here's the thing. You do it, cool. You move forward while you're doing a flamethrower. They recover. You recover 17 frames faster than they do. So the essence is this. You walk forward and you either give them another love tap with forward 3-2, which is a great string, mid, so no duckable, almost 8% on hit, easily hit confirmable, or you do it, you take a little step forward, and instead of going for that 4-3-2, you go for the command grab. And that's the long and short of it. Compared to so many other revisions of any kind of mix-up you can think of, it's this cut and this dry. If you think the strike is coming, you have to block. And if you think it's going to be the command grab, you have to jump. And you are only allowed those two options. Anything else will get you screwed over. Since the command grab is a mid, that removes all the usual guessing games with like other command grabs or regular throws. No neutral ducking, no getting your big juicy uppercut crushing blow, and of course there's no teching it because it's a command grab. And if you thought it was going to be a command grab and you tried to jump and then turns out it was just going to be another 4-3-2, well guess what? It has a huge vertical hitbox. It'll catch you out of the air very easily. So me as Devore, if I try to jump out, well it turns out Robocop actually gets new combo routes, as he can hit you with the 4-3-2, go into air gun, and then all of a sudden, well, that's really all he wrote, and he just go even crazier. So before, you were just taking 19, and now you're taking like up to 30 potentially, right? So the options he gets if you try to jump and he snags you, because once again, 4-3, the knee, has a huge vertical hitbox, much higher than it appears. So just jumping is not going to work. So, but yeah, that is basically the long and short of it. Do a thing, do flamethrower, and hope they guess right. And if they guess wrong, get hit, or guess wrong and get comboed again. It's that simple. And as far as Robocop himself is concerned, with the loadout we have, if we take that command grab, as it launches a fair distance away, between just the grenades, the Cobra assault cannon, and especially the low auto 9, which once again is a good it's a good move by any character standards, even if Robocop's not the best. Generally speaking, unless it's like, you know, your Cetrions of the world, you're gonna have an advantage over the other character at a range, right? So between all these options, you got a lot to work with. But yeah, in and of themselves, the damage options are kind of low, right? But that's the thing about this variation is you just kind of stack the damage. Each individual hit's not high, but just something as simple as this, right? We did the thing, and then we got the command grab. As you can tell by looking at the life bar, that's a significant chunk of life, right? It's not one big fancy combo, but they were put in the blender, and if they guessed wrong in the blender, well, at the very least, they're taking this, and perhaps if they tried jumping to another 432, you're going to get even more damage than that. One thing to note here with any version of this, you'll want to walk forward just a little bit, just to eat up the extra frames. If you go into it like fastest possible timing, you will not connect. Because, well, specifically the grab, it comes out in 11 frames, which is faster than they recover, so it'll go through them, so that's not going to work out. Also, you don't have to EX the flamethrower, it's just, that's where you're going to get a lot of your damage. It's like basically an extra few percent, and you don't have too many other reasons to burn bar in this variation. So just when it comes up, you might as well, on top of the fact it gets you a little bit more corner carry, but by no means do you have to do it. The same concept works out, and if they try to jump, you'll still have plenty of time to hit them with 432 and just go from there. And now just to move it to the corner, talk about the command grab itself, right? Regardless of anything else. Since, you know, a lot of people talk about Robocop, were you aware that Robocop's command grab is plus 12 on hit? And you might notice here, it's 11 frame startup with 2 active frames. So effectively, as long as you don't do it frame perfectly, delay a single frame, which is not too hard, it loops into itself forever. That simple. There are only 2 ways out. You can either immediately jump on wake up, which, you know, this is Mortal Kombat 11. It's more common than you think, right? Or you can just delay wake up. Anything else will get you hit. If you try to wake up any button, you're going to get grabbed. And, you know, well, one, rolls don't beat grabs anyways. But God forbid you tried to roll, it has a crushing blow against rolls. So you really extra don't want to do that. Not something I'd recommend you do forever, but you can get 2 or 3 reps in just before people catch on, so just so you know. Just to add another more damaging layer to the grab strike vortex, since we've already established command grab is a mid, you ain't neutral ducking it, and 432, you know, the move you generally want to go for, is a mid as well, so there's no neutral ducking it, so therefore, the concept of just neutral ducking should be gone from the opponent's just like, you know, tool belt. And once that's established and you get 1 rep in, then you kind of add the ability to walk up just a step here and go for back to the launcher, because this is a launcher and you get a full combo from it. You know, and if you want to burn bar, you can get a lot more, right? So the damage starts scaling a lot higher if we can throw this in the mix. And no, you can't jump it. If you jump it, you just get bopped and you get bounced, and then it's combo city again. And this has always been a valuable move for Robocop. The problem is it's a high, so therefore completely neutral duckable. So it was never that attractive to toss out in a lot of the situations. As you know, mashing down 1, down 4, all that kind of stuff, well, it wouldn't work out that good. But since there's literally no incentive to neutral duck at all once this is established, then you can just toss it in, and then all of a sudden, if they try to jump, well, the reward is a fair bit higher than the usual 432 stuff. So just another layer to keep in mind. So in the end, Robocop's not going to be no top tier character or nothing, right? But for me, this was the variation I was looking forward to the most, and now it exists. And it gives them a very definable game plan of just being a blender character. You get that hit, you get that flamethrower, and now, you know, it's the Zangief mindset. Am I going to grab you, or am I not? And I hope you guessed the right way. And if you grab them, then they push out, and you know what? You're Robocop. If they get pushed out, awesome. You got a lot of tools to play with. You got a lot to work with, right? One of the best projectiles in the game and all that kind of fun stuff. So just like Dragon Ball Fighters and Broly, everyone fears Broly because Broly's the weird zoner grappler hybrid. With this variation, hey, so is Robocop. And with that, I think that's pretty cool and fun because effectively you get presence everywhere on the screen. You're a threat at far range. You're a threat at medium range, thanks to stuff like, you know, your sweep, which is best in class. This down 4 also is ridiculous, by the way. It has some range, to say the least, so you're good. Your neutral's pretty good. And once you get up close, then, you know, kind of protect the Russian skies and just grab. So, in the end, for me, I think this is just a really fun way to play Robocop, honestly. I always love the grappler mindset, and in Mortal Kombat, traditionally, the grappler mindset is a rarer thing, right? Like, generally speaking, if you want to be serious about the grabs, you got to have a mid-hitting grab, and the only other character that's like a real threat with that would be Kotal Kahn, right? And is Robocop as good as Kotal Kahn? No, don't even, not for a second. Don't think that, right? But I think this is a fun and viable way to play Robocop. Maybe not top tier, sure, but I do think it helps them out a lot because to me, this is the best variation you could go for, honestly. For you, maybe not, but for me it is. And I just think it's cool. I like command grabs. And this is a cool command grab. Plus you can loop in the corner and you just go from there. Anyways, I don't know. I guess I'm rambling at this point. But yeah, I think it's really neat. And with all this video and everything I explained in the video, I hope you think it's neat as well, my friends. That all said, hey, this is the end of the video. So thank you very much for watching. Hope this video has found you well. Go out and play some Mortal Kombat.